Have you ever stopped to think about what lies beneath a simple hello? Is it just a word, or is it the tip of an iceberg, a glimpse into a much deeper, hidden world? The truth is, the human mind is an intricate maze, and when it comes to understanding someone on a meaningful level, especially someone you're drawn to, that maze can feel endless. You've likely found yourself trying to decode their words, their actions, even their silences. The question is, how do you unlock that door without fumbling around in the dark? This is where Stoicism steps in. An ancient philosophy, yet timeless in its wisdom, Stoicism isn't just about staying calm in chaos. It's about seeing human nature for what it truly is, layered, unpredictable, and deeply fascinating. Stoicism doesn't teach you to read minds. It teaches you to understand them. It's about mastering yourself so you can better understand others, about peeling back the layers of emotion, ego, and expectation to see the raw truth beneath. Think of Stoicism as a lens, one that helps you see beyond the surface, straight into the core of a person. And the truth? People communicate more than words can express. A smile, a glance, even a moment of hesitation, all of it speaks volumes if you know how to listen. But to truly understand someone, you must first master yourself. Without self-mastery, you're reacting instead of responding, guessing instead of understanding, fumbling instead of leading. Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine applying this mindset to your relationships or your dating life. Instead of being thrown off by mixed signals or confused by unspoken words, you learn to observe calmly, respond wisely, and act with clarity. That's the power of Stoicism. It turns emotional chaos into a game you can win. Today, we're diving deep into how you can apply Stoic principles to not only make them think about you, but also resonate with them on a profound level. This isn't about manipulation or playing mind games. It's about understanding how connection works and using that knowledge to stand out. People don't remember the loudest person in the room. They remember the one who made them feel something. Mastering these skills is about becoming that person, someone unforgettable. Think of it like this. Emotions are like waves crashing against the shore. Some people let the waves toss them around, while others learn to surf. Stoicism is the art of surfing through those waves, staying steady, balanced, and in control. When you approach someone with that kind of energy, they notice. Why? Because it's rare. And what's rare always captures attention. This journey isn't just about understanding someone else. It's about elevating yourself. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just demand respect, but naturally earns it. The kind of person they can't stop thinking about because your presence is magnetic, your words resonate, and your actions leave a mark. So, if you're ready to step into this version of yourself, stay with us until the end. We're about to explore 10 key skills that will not only make them think about you, but also help you master the art of connection, Stoic style. And here's your challenge. Drop an affirmation in the comments right now. Write, "I am unshakable." Let's set the tone for your growth starting today. Don't just watch passively. Claim your transformation. If this video helps you find clarity, show your support. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future insights. Let's unlock the mystery, elevate your mindset, and leave them thinking about you. Something powerful is waiting for you at the end of this video. Don't miss it. Number 1. Grace under fire. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, wind howling around you, rain lashing against your face. Yet you stand there unshaken, grounded, and calm. This is the essence of self-control, the ability to remain steady no matter how turbulent the world around you becomes. Stoicism teaches us that true strength isn't about overpowering others. It's about mastering oneself. Think about a heated argument, voices rising, tempers flaring. Most people would match fire with fire, escalating the chaos. But not you. You remain calm, collected and composed, letting the storm rage around you while you maintain your inner peace. This quiet strength commands respect and makes others take notice. It's not about being indifferent, it's about choosing not to be ruled by emotions. And people are instinctively drawn to those who can maintain their balance when everything else is tipping over. Consider this. You're at a crowded restaurant and the service is painfully slow. Frustration would be the natural response for many. Complaints, eye rolls, maybe even snapping at the server. But you choose patience instead. You engage in conversation, make light of the situation, and transform an inconvenience into an opportunity for connection. This small act doesn't go unnoticed. It speaks volumes about your ability to stay calm and adaptable when things don't go as planned. And that's attractive because it signals maturity and a sense of reliability. What if they test my patience, you might wonder? The answer lies in the story of a river flowing over rocks. The rocks are obstacles, unyielding and rough. But the river doesn't stop or struggle against them. It flows over, under and around, adapting, reshaping and continuing its journey. Your self-control is like that river, effortlessly navigating challenges without losing momentum. This quiet adaptability is powerful and alluring because it shows that no matter the situation, you will find a way forward. Stoicism also speaks to how we handle our inner world. Picture yourself receiving criticism at work, harsh, unfiltered, and perhaps undeserved. The instinct is to react defensively, to shield your ego. But instead, you take a breath. You listen, absorb, and respond with thoughtfulness. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In exercising control over your reactions, you demonstrate a profound self-awareness that resonates deeply with others. Now, consider relationships, the minefields of emotion and expectation. Jealousy, insecurity, frustration, they rear their heads uninvited. Most let these emotions dictate their actions, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. But not you. You acknowledge these feelings without letting them command your behavior. By communicating openly and with honesty, you build trust. Others sense this stability, recognizing a person who can navigate the complex currents of emotion without capsizing the relationship. What happens when someone tries to provoke you in public? They poke, prod, seeking a reaction. But instead of lashing out or retreating, you remain steady. Maybe you respond with humor, diffusing the tension, or with a simple, controlled reply that leaves them bewildered. Like a mountain standing tall against the wind, your resilience becomes a testament to your strength. This level of composure isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about showcasing a maturity that leaves a lasting impression. Self-control isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming detached. It's about harnessing your emotions as a powerful tool, using them wisely instead of being used by them. When you exhibit this level of control, people notice. They see someone who is unshakable, who thrives under pressure, who faces life's challenges with a calm assurance that's rare and captivating. It's said, "Calm seas never made a skilled sailor." Your ability to remain composed in the face of adversity transforms you into a beacon of strength and stability. This quiet power makes you unforgettable, drawing others to you like a magnet. By embodying Stoic principles, you don't just stand out, you stand tall, and in a world full of noise, your silence speaks volumes. Number 2. Anchored by your values. Imagine a lighthouse standing tall on the edge of a rocky shore. It doesn't move with the tide, doesn't sway with the wind. It stands firm, casting light to guide others, no matter the storm. Living by your values is just like that. It's about being grounded in who you are, unwavering in your principles, and letting your actions speak louder than words. In a world where people often shift with trends or compromise their beliefs to fit in, staying true to your values makes you stand out. People can sense when someone is authentic, and that authenticity draws them in. When your actions align with what you truly believe, it creates a kind of magnetic confidence. Why? Because you're not pretending. You're not trying to be anyone but yourself. Take, for instance, the value of family. If spending time with loved ones is a priority for you, you'll make decisions that reflect that. You'll skip that late-night outing with co-workers to have dinner with your family or show up for a sibling's big day instead of choosing convenience. This consistency shows that you value connection and loyalty, traits that leave a lasting impression. People respect those who don't just say family matters, but actually live like it does. Now, you might wonder, what if my values don't align with theirs? That's the beauty of living authentically. You're not bending yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, you're showing who you are, and in doing so, you naturally attract those who share or admire your principles. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." When you embody your values, you don't need to explain yourself. Your life does the talking for you. Let's think about another value, personal growth. If you prioritize learning and self-improvement, you'll invest in books, courses, or hobbies that expand your mind. You might dedicate time to the gym or a passion project because growth matters to you. This drive not only benefits you, but also signals ambition and purpose to others. People admire someone who strives to be the best version of themselves because it's rare. It's inspiring to see someone actively working toward their goals. Another aspect of living by your values is how you contribute to the world around you. Imagine you're the person who volunteers at a local shelter, helps a neighbor with groceries, or mentors someone in need. These small acts of kindness aren't about seeking recognition. They're about staying true to your belief in making the world a better place. Actions like these reveal your sense of compassion and responsibility, qualities that resonate deeply with those who value substance over surface. You might ask, what about boundaries? Living by your values also means setting and respecting boundaries. For example, if mutual respect is essential to you, you'll communicate that clearly in your relationships. You won't tolerate disrespect, and you won't compromise your principles to avoid conflict. This isn't about being rigid. It's about knowing what you stand for and ensuring that your interactions reflect that. People respect those who respect themselves. Living authentically is like walking with a compass. It keeps you from getting lost, no matter how many distractions or challenges come your way. When you stay aligned with your values, you exude a confidence that can't be faked. People notice the consistency, the calm assurance that you're anchored in something deeper than passing whims. It's this quiet strength that makes you unforgettable. As Epictetus wisely said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." When you live in alignment with your values, You don't just stand out, you inspire. You draw others in, not by trying to impress them, but by showing them what it looks like to be truly yourself. And that's not just attractive, it's magnetic. Number 3. Mastering the art of silent attraction. Imagine walking into a crowded room and having the ability to read the unspoken words between people. It's like cracking a secret code, one that reveals what someone truly feels beneath their polite words or surface expressions. Body language is the silent language we all speak, and mastering it gives you an undeniable edge. It's not just about catching someone's attention, it's about understanding the unsaid, the subtle, and the meaningful. Think about it. Over 60% of communication happens without words. A quick glance, a slight shift in posture, the direction someone's feet are pointing, these aren't random details. They're a roadmap to what's happening in someone's mind. Imagine someone facing you, leaning in as you speak, their eyes locked on yours. That's not just attention, it's interest, perhaps even attraction. On the other hand, if their arms are crossed, their body angled away, or they're avoiding eye contact, they might be signaling discomfort or disinterest. Learning to read these signs allows you to navigate any interaction with clarity and confidence. Body language is more than observation, it's also about how you carry yourself. Picture someone walking into a room with their head high, shoulders back, and a steady, confident stride. Without saying a word, they command attention. Now, contrast that with someone slouching, avoiding eye contact, or fidgeting nervously. Who would you gravitate toward? Your own posture, gestures, and presence speak louder than any words you could utter. By mastering how you present yourself, you send signals of confidence, calm, and self-assuredness, traits that naturally draw others in. You might wonder, how does this connect to Stoicism? Stoic philosophy is rooted in mindfulness and presence, and body language mastery requires both. To truly understand someone's non-verbal cues, you must be fully present in the moment, observing not just their words, but their actions and reactions. This level of awareness turns casual conversations into meaningful connections. As Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Watching and listening with intent allows you to understand someone on a deeper level. Let's take a date as an example. If they lean in, mirror your gestures, or make steady eye contact, these are signs they're engaged and interested. A Stoic approach would be to acknowledge these signals without overreacting. You stay calm, composed, and grounded. This doesn't mean ignoring the signs, it means recognizing them while maintaining your balance. Confidence isn't about chasing validation, it's about exuding it naturally. But what about when the signals aren't positive? Suppose you notice them shifting uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact, or crossing their arms. Instead of taking it personally, a Stoic mindset sees this as feedback, not failure. It might mean changing the subject, giving them space, or simply accepting that the connection isn't as strong as hoped. This emotional resilience, remaining unaffected by negative signals, makes you adaptable and self-assured, qualities that stand out in any interaction. Body language mastery isn't a trick or a gimmick. It's a skill that requires practice and patience. It's like learning to read a new language, one that reveals the emotions and intentions beneath the surface. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The same applies here. By focusing on what you can control, your awareness, your responses, and your own body language, you gain the upper hand in any social interaction. When you become fluent in this silent language, you won't just communicate better, you'll connect more deeply. You'll know when someone is truly interested or when they're hesitant. You'll exude a calm confidence that makes others gravitate toward you, intrigued by your presence. This isn't just about reading others, it's about mastering yourself. And when you do that, you don't just stand out, you leave a lasting impression. Number 4, the questions that keep you on their mind. Picture a locked door. The key isn't force or charm, it's curiosity. Thoughtful questions are that key, unlocking deeper connections and creating lasting impressions. Conversations that linger in someone's mind are built on questions that matter, ones that show genuine interest and invite them to open up in ways they rarely do. Instead of skimming the surface with the usual, "Did you have a good day?" imagine asking, "What was the best part of your day?" That subtle shift changes everything. It transforms a simple question into an invitation for them to share more about their world, their emotions, thoughts, and what makes them tick. It's not about prying or interrogating, it's about showing that you're genuinely curious about their experiences. When someone feels understood, they naturally think about the person who gave them that space. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Understand what is in your power. There is great freedom in understanding." This aligns perfectly with the power of asking engaging questions. By asking meaningful, open-ended questions, you're not just filling silence, you're creating a connection that stays with them long after the conversation ends. For example, instead of asking, "What do you do for fun?" you could try, "What's something you've done recently that made you feel alive?" That kind of question gets to the heart of who they are, not just what they do. But what if they seem hesitant to open up? The beauty of a great question is its adaptability. If you notice they're reserved, you can ease into it with gentler prompts like, "What's something small that made you smile today?" Small, thoughtful inquiries build trust and pave the way for more profound conversations. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm, empathetic, and observant. These qualities make you not just a good conversationalist, but someone who stands out as deeply attentive and authentic. Think of conversations as a dance. If one partner is too forceful or uncoordinated, it feels awkward. But when both partners move in rhythm, it becomes an art. Asking engaging questions is about matching that rhythm, reading their mood, paying attention to their tone, and responding naturally. For example, if they say, "I'm fine," but their body language suggests otherwise, you might gently ask, "It feels like there's more on your mind. Want to share?" This shows not just attentiveness, but emotional intelligence, a rare quality that people notice and appreciate. Here's another way to think about it. Asking thoughtful questions is like planting seeds in a garden. Each seed, each question, has the potential to grow into something meaningful. When they share a memory, a dream, or even a fear, it's your chance to nurture that moment. Referencing it later, like saying, "You once mentioned how much you love visiting the beach. What is it about the ocean that inspires you?" shows them you're not just hearing but truly listening. Listening is rare, and that rarity makes you unforgettable. You might wonder, how do I avoid sounding rehearsed or intrusive? The answer lies in your intention. When your questions come from a place of genuine curiosity rather than a desire to impress, they land differently. People sense authenticity. They feel the difference between being an obligation and being valued. This isn't just about relationships, it's a life skill. Every person you meet has a story, a unique perspective, and the more you ask, the more you learn. As Epictetus wisely put it, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak." When you practice this, You not only build deeper connections, but also become the kind of person others can't stop thinking about. Great questions aren't just about gathering information. They're about creating moments that matter. They turn casual exchanges into meaningful experiences, leaving others wondering, how did they make me feel so understood? That's the magic. When you master this art, you don't just start conversations, you create connections that linger. Number 5. The power of listening without words. Imagine standing in a quiet forest where every rustle of the leaves, chirp of a bird, and distant crackle of twigs tells a story. Listening isn't just about hearing sounds, it's about tuning in to the world around you, understanding what's beneath the surface. This same principle applies to conversations. True listening is about picking up not only the words, but also the subtle emotions, the unspoken cues, and the fleeting moments of vulnerability that reveal who someone really is. When you truly listen, you aren't just hearing them, you're understanding them. Think about it. When someone shares their story, most people are already planning their next response, eager to steer the conversation back to themselves. But when you focus entirely on them, you give them something rare, your undivided attention. That kind of presence isn't just noticed, it's felt. Imagine someone telling you about their day. While others might nod absent-mindedly, you notice the slight sparkle in their eyes when they talk about something they love, or the subtle crack in their voice when they mention something that upset them. It's in these tiny details that the real story lies. Listening at this level isn't passive, it's active, empathetic, and deeply engaging. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This Stoic wisdom captures the essence of mindful listening. By focusing on them and silencing your own inner chatter, you practice presence, a core tenet of Stoicism. You're not just there to hear their words, you're there to feel their emotions and understand their perspective. You might wonder, how can I show I'm truly listening without overdoing it? It's simple. Small, thoughtful actions make a big impact. For example, if they mention a hobby they're passionate about, remember it and bring it up later. If they share a challenge they're facing, don't rush to fix it or offer advice unless they ask. Instead, acknowledge their feelings. Say something like, "That sounds really tough. I can see why you'd feel that way." This validation creates a bond, showing them that their experiences matter to you. Listening also goes beyond words. People communicate as much, if not more, through their body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. A fleeting smile, a nervous fidget, or a quick glance away can tell you everything you need to know. Think of these signals as a hidden language, one that most overlook but speaks volumes if you're paying attention. By noticing these details, you show an attentiveness that leaves a lasting impression. Consider this metaphor. Listening is like tuning a radio. When you're fully present, you're dialing into the exact frequency where their true thoughts and feelings broadcast. It's about cutting through the static of your own distractions and giving them your complete focus. This clarity doesn't just make them feel heard, it makes them feel seen. Now, you might ask, what if I miss something or don't know how to respond? The beauty of mindful listening is that it's not about being perfect. It's about being genuine. If you're unsure, ask them to share more. Questions like, "What was that like for you?" or "Can you tell me more about how you felt?" show you care enough to dig deeper. It's not about having all the answers, it's about being present for the journey. By listening with your whole being, your ears, eyes, and heart, you create a connection that transcends words. People remember how you make them feel, and nothing feels more powerful than being truly understood. This level of attention and empathy isn't just appreciated, it's unforgettable. When you listen like this, you don't just connect with someone, you leave an impression they carry with them long after the conversation ends. Number 6. The quiet strength of patience. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's about how you carry yourself while time unfolds. Think of it like planting a tree. You can't rush its growth by pulling at the branches. You nurture it, water it, and trust the process. In relationships, patience is that quiet strength, an unshakable composure that shows emotional maturity and self-control. It's not passive, it's deliberate, and it says more about your character than any words ever could. Imagine the early stages of getting to know someone. Most people rush in, trying to force a connection, but Stoicism teaches a different approach. Instead of overwhelming them with constant texts or pressure to meet, you allow the relationship to flow naturally. This doesn't mean you're disinterested, it means you respect their pace. When someone feels they have the space to open up without being hurried, it fosters trust. They feel seen, not pursued like a goal to be achieved. As Marcus Aurelius said, time is a sort of river of passing events, and strong is its current. Rushing against the current never works. Relationships, like rivers, carve their paths slowly, and the deeper the connection, the longer it takes. When you show patience, you're saying, "I value the process more than the result." That kind of presence isn't just noticed, it's remembered. You might wonder, what if they hesitate to share or pull away? Picture this. They're sharing something personal, but stop mid-sentence, unsure of how to proceed. Instead of pressing them to continue, you say, "Take your time. Share when you're ready." Those few words convey more care and understanding than any gesture could. They show that you're there, not to fix or push, but simply to listen. This kind of patience builds a sense of safety, a foundation for something real. Patience also plays a vital role in navigating challenges. Imagine a disagreement arises. Voices could rise, tempers could flare, but you choose another path. You pause, take a breath, and listen, not just to their words, but to their emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, you acknowledge their perspective, saying, "I hear you. Let's figure this out together." This isn't about winning the argument. It's about valuing the relationship more than your pride. That calm, steady approach speaks volumes about who you are. But patience isn't just for handling conflicts or slow starts. It's about recognizing that good things take time. Think of a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each strike seems insignificant, but with time and care, a masterpiece emerges. In relationships, patience allows both people to reveal their true selves. It gives them the time to trust, to connect, and to create something meaningful. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me you desire a fig, I answer you must let it bloom, then bear fruit, then ripen." This timeless wisdom applies to connection. When you practice patience, you're showing that you understand the value of what's unfolding, that it's worth the wait. You might think, does patience mean I do nothing? Not at all. Patience is active. It's choosing to remain calm in uncertainty, to give space while staying present, to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. It's about showing up consistently, not overwhelming or withdrawing. It's the steady presence of someone who knows their worth and respects others enough to let them move at their own pace. When you embody this kind of patience, you stand out. You become a source of calm in a world full of rushing and noise. People think about those who make them feel understood, valued, and safe. And patience, practiced with intention and care, isn't just a virtue, it's your quiet superpower. Number 7. The art of reading between the lines. Imagine walking into a room and instantly understanding the unspoken dynamics, the subtle body language, the shifts in tone, the fleeting expressions. It's like having a sixth sense, a skill that allows you to navigate interactions with ease and confidence. When it comes to understanding someone's behavior, this ability isn't just helpful, it's transformative. Stoicism teaches us to observe without judgment, to see things as they are, rather than as we wish them to be. This mindset turns observation into a superpower. Think of a conversation as a dance. Their words, tone, and body language create the rhythm. If you're paying attention, you'll notice when the rhythm shifts, when they're interested, hesitant, or distracted. For instance, imagine sitting across from someone at a coffee shop. If they're leaning in, maintaining eye contact and smiling as you speak, the rhythm is clear. They're engaged. But if they're glancing at their phone, giving short responses, or angling their body away, it might signal disinterest or preoccupation. Recognizing these cues isn't about taking things personally. It's about understanding the reality of the moment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This wisdom reminds us that reading someone's behavior isn't about jumping to conclusions. It's about paying attention to the details and adapting with empathy. If they seem nervous or reserved, it's an opportunity to create comfort. Share a light-hearted story, ask a question about something they enjoy, and let them feel at ease in your presence. This attentiveness shows care, and care builds connection. You might wonder, what if I misread the signals? That's where patience and mindfulness come in. Observing without judgment allows you to adjust without overthinking. For example, if they appear distant, resist the urge to fill the silence with chatter or push for answers. Instead, simply acknowledge the shift. "You seem a little preoccupied. Everything okay?" This small moment of awareness can turn a disconnect into a meaningful exchange. It's not about reading minds. It's about being present enough to notice and respond thoughtfully. Understanding behavior also means knowing when to step back. Imagine someone clearly uninterested or distracted during a conversation. Instead of pushing for their attention, a Stoic mindset teaches you to gracefully accept the situation. You can politely end the interaction, leaving on good terms. This kind of self-control and awareness isn't just respectful, it's magnetic. People remember those who handle moments of discomfort with grace. But with this skill comes responsibility. Understanding someone's emotions and intentions isn't a tool for manipulation, it's an opportunity for connection. As Epictetus wisely advised, be careful whom you associate with. The truth is, we imitate those with whom we interact. Use your ability to read others ethically. If you sense they're vulnerable or having a rough day, offer support instead of seeking to benefit from their state. This integrity not only aligns with Stoic principles, but also creates bonds built on trust and respect. Think of this ability as learning to read between the lines of a book. The words tell part of the story, but the subtext, the pauses, the unspoken emotions, reveals the depth. When you truly understand someone's behavior, you're reading the full story, not just the cover. This level of awareness makes them feel valued and seen, a rare and powerful experience that lingers in their mind. Mastering this art isn't about perfection, it's about presence, It's about using observation to build genuine connections, to show empathy, and to navigate interactions with confidence and care. When you embody this, you're not just memorable, you're someone they can't stop thinking about. Number 8. The depth of true understanding. Imagine stepping into someone else's shoes, seeing the world through their eyes, and feeling the emotions they carry. That's empathy, not just hearing their words, but truly understanding their experience. It's not about offering quick fixes or empty reassurances. It's about creating a space where they feel seen, valued, and safe. This is the kind of understanding that doesn't just connect, it leaves a mark. Think about a moment when someone close to you is stressed or overwhelmed. Maybe they've had a tough day and their frustration is bubbling to the surface. Instead of brushing it off or jumping to solve their problems, imagine taking a pause, looking them in the eyes and saying, "I see how much this is weighing on you. I'm here if you need to talk." This small moment of acknowledgement does something profound. It shows them you're not just present, you're with them. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" This Stoic wisdom reminds us that empathy starts with understanding, not judgment. It's about putting aside your assumptions and seeing the person in front of you for who they truly are, not who you think they should be. You might ask, what if I don't know how to respond to their emotions? The answer is simple. You don't have to have all the answers. Empathy isn't about fixing, it's about being present. If they're frustrated about work, for example, instead of offering solutions, you might say, "It's clear you put so much effort into this, and it's tough not to see it work out the way you hoped." That one sentence can mean more than 1,000 suggestions. It says, "I see you, I understand." Empathy is like tuning into a frequency that most people overlook. It's noticing the hesitation in their voice when they're upset, the way their body tenses when they're nervous, or the soft smile that fades too quickly. These small, unspoken details reveal so much about what they're feeling. And when you respond to these signals, not just their words, they'll feel an emotional connection that's rare and unforgettable. Imagine someone sharing a story about a disappointment. Most people might nod and move on, but you go deeper. You ask, "What about that situation felt hardest for you?" Or, "What do you think would have made it better?" These aren't just questions, they're invitations. Invitations for them to open up, to share what's beneath the surface. And in that sharing, you're not just building a connection, you're building trust. But empathy isn't about being passive. It's active, intentional, and grounded in respect. When they're upset, you don't rush to change the subject or offer advice. Instead, you say, "Take your time. I'm here." This patience tells them their emotions matter, that they don't have to hide or rush through what they're feeling. This creates a bond that goes beyond words. You might wonder, is empathy really that impactful? The answer lies in how it makes them feel. When someone feels understood, it's like a weight lifts off their shoulders. They don't have to explain themselves over and over. They don't feel judged or dismissed. And they remember the person who gave them that rare gift. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Empathy is the art of listening with intention, of being present in a way that most people never are. When you master this, you don't just stand out. You become someone they think about long after the moment has passed. It's not about grand gestures or perfect words. It's about the quiet, profound act of truly understanding. And in a world where so many only scratch the surface, that depth is unforgettable. Number 9. the calm that commands respect. Imagine being the rock in a raging storm, unshaken, composed, and in control. That's emotional mastery, and it's not just a skill, it's a presence. Emotional control, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, is the ability to manage your inner world with wisdom and grace, even when the external world feels chaotic. This isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding them, responding thoughtfully, and exuding a calm strength that leaves a lasting impression. Picture this. You've just faced a setback at work. The natural reaction might be frustration, anger, or self-doubt. But instead of letting those emotions take over, you pause. You take a breath, assess the situation, and respond with clarity. That moment of composure doesn't just solve the problem, it sends a message to everyone around you. You can handle life's challenges without crumbling. This quiet strength is magnetic. People, including those you want to connect with, are naturally drawn to someone who stays grounded when things get tough. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Emotional control is about taking ownership of your reactions. It's knowing that while you can't control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond. Imagine being in a disagreement. Instead of letting frustration dictate your tone, you listen. You acknowledge their feelings, communicate your perspective calmly, and look for a resolution. This isn't just effective, it's transformative. It shows emotional maturity, self-discipline, and a deep respect for the other person. You might wonder, does this mean I should suppress my feelings? Absolutely not. Emotional control isn't about bottling up emotions. It's about expressing them with intention. If something bothers you, you don't lash out or stay silent. You share it calmly and respectfully. For example, instead of letting anger simmer after a misunderstanding, you might say, "I want to share how I felt about what happened earlier. Let's talk about it." This level of honesty doesn't just resolve issues, it builds trust and intimacy. Emotional control also means navigating criticism or provocation with grace. Imagine someone hurling a harsh comment your way. Most would react impulsively, defending themselves or snapping back. But you pause, you process, and you either respond thoughtfully or choose not to respond at all. This restraint demonstrates a level of self-discipline that commands respect. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." People are drawn to that kind of poise because it signals strength and reliability. You might think, does emotional control make me seem detached or cold? Quite the opposite. When you master your emotions, you create space for empathy and compassion. Imagine someone sharing a tough day with you. Instead of brushing it off or rushing to solve their problem, you listen. You say, "That sounds really challenging. I can see why you'd feel that way." This simple act of understanding builds a bond that goes beyond words. It shows that you're not just calm, you're present. Think of emotional control as being the captain of your own ship. The sea might be rough, the winds unpredictable, but you steer with steady hands. This steadiness doesn't just benefit you, it reassures those around you. People feel safe in your presence, knowing you won't crumble under pressure or let emotions cloud your judgment. When you cultivate emotional control, you don't just change how you handle challenges. You transform how others see you. They see someone who doesn't react impulsively, who listens deeply, who communicates with respect and clarity. This calm confidence isn't just appealing, it's unforgettable. In a world where so many are ruled by their emotions, being the one who remains grounded, makes you stand out. And that presence, it's what keeps you on their mind long after the conversation has ended. Number 10. The calm that draws them in. Imagine being the person everyone looks to when chaos erupts, not because you're the loudest or most aggressive, but because you're the calmest. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about mastering them. It's about responding with thought instead of reacting impulsively, embodying the kind of presence that steadies a room and builds trust. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom and a cornerstone of meaningful relationships. Think of a moment when something unexpected throws you off, maybe a sudden setback at work or a heated disagreement. The natural impulse might be to lash out or retreat, but instead, you pause, you take a breath, you let the emotion settle before acting. This kind of deliberate calm not only keeps the situation from spiraling out of control, but also inspires confidence in those around you. People notice your ability to stay composed, and that quiet strength becomes unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the heart of emotional control. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to respond. Picture a disagreement with someone you care about. Instead of raising your voice or letting frustration take over, you listen. You acknowledge their perspective and calmly express your own. This isn't just conflict resolution, it's emotional intelligence in action. It shows maturity, self-discipline, and a deep respect for the other person. You might wonder, what if I feel like I'm bottling things up by staying calm? Emotional control isn't about burying your emotions, it's about channeling them effectively. If something bothers you, it's okay to speak up. The key is how you do it. Instead of venting or blaming, you share your feelings clearly and respectfully. For example, saying, "I felt hurt by what happened earlier and I'd like to talk about it," turns potential conflict into an opportunity for connection. This approach not only resolves issues, but also deepens trust. Now, consider moments when you face criticism or provocation. Most people react defensively, letting the heat of the moment dictate their response. But imagine pausing, processing the words calmly, and choosing a measured reply, or sometimes no reply at all. That kind of restraint is rare and powerful. As Epictetus wisely noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you practice this, you become the person others see as steady, reliable, and grounded. Emotional control also creates space for empathy and compassion. Imagine someone close to you is struggling. Instead of rushing to fix their problem or dismiss their feelings, you sit with them. You listen without judgment, offering words like, "I can see how hard this is for you, and I'm here if you need me." This simple act of understanding makes them feel valued and supported. It's not about solving their problem, it's about showing you care. Think of emotional control as building a fortress within yourself. It doesn't make you cold or distant, it makes you strong and approachable. When you've mastered your emotions, you create an environment where others feel safe. They're drawn to your steadiness, sensing that you can handle life's highs and lows with grace. This kind of presence isn't just reassuring, it's magnetic. The beauty of emotional control is that it transforms not only your relationships, but also your entire way of being. It's the difference between being tossed by every wave and steering your ship with purpose. When you cultivate this level of composure, you don't just manage your emotions, you elevate how others experience you. In a world full of noise and chaos, your calm is a rare and irresistible signal of strength, trust, and wisdom.